There is no periods of time throughout all the human history that is more sensitive to talks about this topic than today. Especially with all the island thing going on. That thing is diabolically crazy, man. But I still decide to make a video as a little response to this video. ZZZ Def belong in jail? Well, not really to the video cause I can't watch his video for more than 3 minutes, and with all the heat and the allegation, I still decide to pull for Sunna and her signature, along with this controversial skin. But I don't think this is as explicit as the one as saying the double standard is promoting.
This outfit greatly emphasizes the more playful parts of Florence's personality.
Cause he got sponsored by the girl Frontline too. The almost transparent shirt with nothing underneath. I don't think he's actually into this stuff like what Skull CJ claimed to be, but it's a pretty good example of what a corporate sold out is look like. I mean, just look at his face, he's looking so uncomfortable about promoting this. And I could imagine myself will also do the same face if I were to take the sponsor from the Deep Love and Space. And you know what else I'm gonna do? Mindscape 6 and max out all the signature on every single member of the Angel of Delusion, watching them dancing and singing all days, and I will still not be a PDF. I am this confident of not turning into one, as much as if I swallow 10 wiener now, I'm not gonna turn into a homosexual. The sexuality just doesn't work that way. Real skate. If you're pulling for Angels of Delusion and enjoying them dancing, you must be a PD. Shut the fuck up! You are the sickening one to even relate them to things like that. People watch them for other reason, other than the one that you, sicko, is thinking. Even average Lux Gamer's girlfriend is anticipating this.
My girlfriend has even said that she may come back to ZZZ next patch, because she wants to see the idol story through and maybe pull for one or two of them, because she actually does think that the design is pretty cool.
There are reasons why cute girls doing cute things in itself has been a huge genre for over many years. And normal people watch it for other hundreds of reasons.
アイドルアニメとか好きですよね。ラブライブも好きで、あれもなんかこう女の子たちが、しかも可愛い女の子たちが一個の目標に向かって喧嘩したりとかね、しながらもうだから行くじゃないですか。泣けてくるんですよ。泣いちゃうのよ。
And the only two things that gonna stop me from getting every single member to the Mindscape 6 and maxing out the weapon is my depleting bank account. And my sanity kind of stopped me from being a gacha addicted, cause I've been losing 50-50 for over 9 consecutive times. So as I thought I'm gonna be focusing on making content on the Arknight Infield, the Angel of Delusion kind of like brought me back into like talking about this topic. Cause I think as a content creator who has been making the Zenless Zone Zero content for a really long time, and I do make a lot of Gunner jokes here and there, I'm probably one of the very few content creators in the Zenless Zone Zero space that could talk about this openly and articulately, without getting myself into the troubles, cause I could break down nuanced situation like this while being objective. And I always make sure that my jokes is more about being funny than the goon itself. For those who haven't caught up with what's going on, Zenless Zone Zero has released 3 characters with the teenagers or arguably the lolly body type. There wasn't a lot of negative comments about this until they announced this new skin, which is a typical anime culture stuff, and the red bag that resembled the Japanese elementary school's bag, and the strap on her stocking is somehow too sexualized. Even though there are a bunch of works out there, like Brown Dust and the Girls Frontline 2, that goes 1,000 miles further than this. And the fact that Zenless Zone Zero got condemned before other so-called Gunner gacha game appears to be hypocritical to me. And we all know the reason behind it, because Zenless Zone Zero is a big game. It gave them bigger spotlight to act like a good person. Even if we give them the benefit of a doubt, there's no way that the works of fiction would statistically meaningfully influence the action in real life. Humans could distinguish the works of fictional character to the real person starting from the age 3 and as late as 5 years old. So you can't really just assume that people would mess up the works of fiction with the reality. But in the end, it doesn't matter at all because there is no real person get involved. You can't just frame anyone who plays Zenless Zone Zero or pull for Sunna as a PDF. You are the one who should be in jail for defamating these people because you know exactly that they are not. It is simply statistically impossible to have so many PDF. You are either a retard who can't distinguish the works of fiction to the reality, or you are coming in with malicious intent to try to get these people into troubles. But there are also this other side of spectrum who wouldn't stop spamming funny, cute and humorous, or the crying emoji. You guys are also as obnoxious. I wouldn't judge anyone who enjoy their kings by themselves, but when you bring it to the public, you are simply invading other people's personal space. And I'm talking about the average luck gamer incident, so I'm 100% on his side and his take. When it comes to boundary, the public doesn't need to know how many butt fold you have on your asshole and what kinds of adult content that you are watching. It is just simply disgusting. You must separate what you do privately and what to present in the public. I know there are community that built for this, so just keep it there. And condemning these two ends of the spectrum is not contradicting either. And I'm probably not talking about you if you don't belong to that less than 1% degenerate. So let me visualize the whole thing so that I could explain it better. But let me start with 3 types of person that I don't have issue with. Putting average luck gamer right here is self-explanatory. He's just a normal dude in a good way, enjoying the game in a normal way, right? So he wouldn't have problem with this patch. And I think his approach to the game could represent the majority of the player out there. And there are also people who kind of like enjoying a bit too much. I'm not gonna pretend that Rule 34 doesn't exist, but they're enjoying it privately. They're not gonna like spam anything intrusive toward this group. You could do whatever you want in your private, and I do think this is perfectly fine. Because in the end, it's the works of fiction, and they could tell the difference between the fiction and the reality. And it's those types of person who just kind of disgust with this kind of content, and I do think they have every right to do so. But they wouldn't call these people and these people PDF. They would just disengage with the content because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And I think that is perfectly fine too. Because I also got disgusted by game like Love and Deep Space. I think that game is weird as fuck, but I'm not gonna judge it. But I do understand that there are people out there who enjoy these types of content, and it does no harm to anyone. But the people that I have issue with are the one at the end of the spectrum, and I think it's less than 1% on both sides. They are the people who actually cause all the problem. But let's start on this end of spectrum. And I think Saint Tontas is a pretty good example of that, but we are not gonna get into his hypocrisy with the Girl Frontline 2 sponsored incident. Even though I think the incident is hilarious, but I'm not gonna focus on his personal oopsie in this case. So basically, what these less than 1% here is doing is dishonestly framing these many people, even the one who play the game normally, as a PDF, and sometimes with the implication instead of the direct one. For one, to satisfy their narcissist in hope that people would think that they are a good person. And second, expecting people that they frame getting into trouble. This is straight up defamating, and they are the one that should be in jail. And PDF by clinical definition only apply to the real person. There is no documentation that PDF has to do with the fictional character, and it is statistically impossible to have so many people being a PDF. They are coming in with malicious intent. And what about the other end of spectrum? They are just as disgusting, but on different way. What they're doing is making an implication of the adult content that they like. While it's totally fine to enjoy it on your own, but putting these things out into the public is the intrusion to the privacy of other people in the public space. Keep that shit to whatever community that you are in. You wanna take off your clothes in your house to take a shower, but you shouldn't do it on the street. Anyway, I hope that cleared things up, and I wish you guys to enjoy Zenless Zone Zero without worrying about getting judged. And see ya guys.